Hello everyone, welcome back to my social thread. My name's Crystal and I am back from maternity leave. So to say, I had a baby on the 22nd of April of this year, baby Theo, a little boy. He's 6 weeks old now and I have just about started to sew again, and this is my first vlog back from having had baby Theo. So I am a bit rusty and I've got tired eyes, as you can see, but today is going to be the unboxing of the Little Miss So and So So Luxurious box for the month of June. And also I will be revealing my make for the month of May as well. So I'm now going to share my screen with you and show you sort of the options that I had for last month's box and the fabric choices. So I'm sharing it with you now. This is their website here. First thing I do is click on the filter and choose So Luxurious Pattern Stretch. And the pattern for last month was the Sew Over It Marni cardigan, which I don't have and I've not made before. It's a lovely long line cardigan, 2 different lengths, midi and maxi. It's got pockets and sort of like a kind of like a waterfall shawl front. And I really like it, actually. It's something that I would wear. And then the fabric choices, you go to So Luxurious Fabric Stretch, and these are all the pattern fabric choices from last month. You got Cloud 9 there, Lady McElroy, Viscose Crepes, more Lady McElroy. We've got French Terry as well, variegated French Terry jerseys here in different colorways. Leopard print French Terry, Lady McElroy, organic cotton jerseys. So these are all lovely fabrics, except that I was looking for something plain, and the only plain they had was this pink and this green at the bottom here, which wasn't my sort of color that I was looking for, I think. And so I went to the So Luxurious woven pattern to see what was available there, and they had the Vicky Sews Edwidge blouse. And I quite like this blouse. I like the deep cuffs. I like the bishop sleeves. I like the gathers at the shoulder, and it's a button front, which is great for breastfeeding. And then I went to the fabric woven to see what the fabric choices were for this one. So you've got Lady McElroy viscoses, animal prints here. You've got viscose challis, Lady McElroy, 2 different colorways. More some cotton lawns as well, viscose lawns actually. These are all Lady McElroys, which are great. This one here, the bottom left one here from the veranda, I really liked, but I bought that separately, which I'll show you later on. Keep going, lots of Lady McElroy ones on there. And Art Gallery fabrics. You guys know that I love Art Gallery, so there's some lovely Art Gallery prints there, lovely florals, bright fresh colors, and some plains at the bottom here as well. Sorry about that text coming through. And I will show you in a bit what I opted for, and that's that. So I'll unshare that screen. So with the as I was saying, with the Sew Over It Marni cardigan, I would have gone for that had there been other choices of the plain cotton jerseys. So I was thinking of something more boring, like sort of a beige or a navy, just because that goes with quite a lot of things, and I think cardigans are good to just throw onto different outfits. So I didn't end up going for that. I ended up going for the Vicky Sews Edwidge blouse. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I liked everything about it, apart from the I don't know if you noticed, the button closures were loops. What are they called? Are they called loops? Button loops. They go all the way from the neckline all the way down, so I'm not going to do the neckline ones because I think they're obviously not useful. They're just for show, so that's just extra work, which I didn't like anyway. So I'm just going to do the buttons all the way down, and I will show you. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so some of the other fabrics on the woven side of things were really, really nice, but I ended up buying those separately Anyway, when Little Miss So-and-so were doing their bank holiday sale, I grabbed the Lady McElroy Veranda Cotton Lawn 3 meters, and also the Art Gallery Floral Viscose 3 meters of that. And I've got a couple of plans for those. But I will now show you, I will now unbox my So Luxurious kit, which I received, and I will show you the fabric that I went for. I've been dying to open this box, but I know I normally open these live, so I thought I'd continue doing that. Sorry. Ah. To get a lovely package as so. This So Luxurious kit is £65 a month. You get a pattern, fabric, normally 3.5 meters, thread, elastic, notions, that sort of thing, and a lovely gift. And that's including postage and packaging. You also, and So Luxurious is a choice of there. So you get a choice of a woven or a stretch pattern every month, and then you get a choice of their So Luxurious woven fabrics or So Luxurious stretch fabrics, and that includes, as you saw from my choices beforehand, you know, Lady McElroy's, Art Galleries, sometimes they have Dashwood Studios, sometimes they have Atelier Brunette. So some lovely luxurious fabrics there. Let me open this one. So I did get an email from Nicola recently saying, as everybody's prices have gone up, which they have, I normally get 3.5 meters of luxurious fabric in my box, but they have said recently that they will be cutting that down, but they will still be providing enough fabric to make the largest size of the pattern. So if it's a blouse or a dress, they will provide you enough to make the dress version in the largest size, but they won't be doing extra beyond that, because prices have gone up and they don't want to increase the prices of the boxes, which is fair enough. So I'll show you what I've got here. So this is new. They've got like a little letter about the pattern, just some reviews, rouleau loops, that's what they're called, just some tips and tricks of how to tackle the pattern, which is great. Oh, lovely. Okay, let me show you. So the pattern is this one here, Vicky So's Edwige blouse. I've not bought anything from Vicky So's or made anything from them before, but I have seen them around. So here is the blouse here. As I say, lovely deep cuffs, bishop sleeves. You've got a gathered yoke here, and then you've got the rouleau loops all the way down. I'm only going to start mine from sort of here downwards, so I don't have to do the extra work there. And then the back is just straight. This goes from a size... So it's in European sizes, size 34, which is a bust of 80. Sorry, these are in centimeters. Bust of 80, waist of 60, up to a size 52, which is a bust of 116, waist of 96. Oh no, there you go. So it's from a UK 6 to UK 24. It's got it there, UK 6 to UK 24. It's 4 out of 5 in terms of difficulty, which doesn't sound very... what's the word, encouraging, since it's a blouse. I don't think, maybe because of the rouleau loops, I don't know why it's 4 out of 5. Oh, and you can scan the QR code to access PDF instructions if you wanted. That's a good idea. So let me open this. It's a lovely sturdy folder envelope. That's why. So they give you the pattern pieces in the envelope, but there are no instructions, so that's why you have the QR code to scan and view and print your own PDF instructions for this. So that's really nice. I also get in here, ooh, lovely color, matching thread, which is a lovely like fuchsia pink, purpley pink. Lovely Gatterman's 100 meters. And then I have, I didn't realize they were, I have lots of what are these called, things to make covered buttons. So they're buttons that need fabric covering. So I've got, so that's the front part of it. And then the back part is like a little sort of thing like this. So I have got quite a few there. And the gift that's included is a tool for covering buttons by Millwood. So that's really handy. I do have one of these already, but that's really handy, and it's a good idea to get a gift that is helpful or useful for the pattern. And then the fabric is an Art Gallery rayon or viscose, and it is lovely. Oh wow, got other bits as well. So the fabric I went for was this one here. It's very me. Oh, I love that. So I love that color. I think it's a very happy color. It brightens me up anyway. Lovely florals. It's Art Gallery. It's beautifully drapey. Let me just take it out. I mean, that is lovely, isn't it? I would personally make a dress out of this, but the pattern is a blouse, so I can't really argue with that. Let me just measure it actually, just to see how much we get this time. Because as I say, we used to get 3.5 meters, and it's definitely not 3.5 meters this time. I will check. Here's my trusty, what's it called? Tape measure. So I've got, am I measuring it the right way? So we have got 2 meters, I think. So we've got, that's 150, that's 1.5 meters. So we've got 2 meters of this wonderful Art Gallery rayon, and that should be enough to make the biggest size of the blouse. How beautiful is that? I was toying with the idea of getting more to make a dress, but I thought not for now because I have so much fabric to get through. But I'm very, very happy with that. Beautiful. You also get as well shoulder pads, which, oh yes, I can see it now. Lovely shoulder pads. And I can see it now. If you look closely, there are shoulder pads in this blouse here. I'm not sure if I'll use the shoulder pads. What do you guys think? Because that's very sort of Dynasty 80s. I don't know. I might try it on without the shoulder pads and see what it's like. Because then it'll be a little bit more casual, if that makes sense. With the shoulder pads, it might look a bit too formal, but I'm not sure. I'll have a go. And then you've got some interfacing, presumably for the deep cuffs. So that's everything that I got in that box, and I will now be showing you the dress that I made for last month's box, last month's project box. Sorry, just quickly, I thought I'd show you the fabric that I bought from Little Miss So-and-so. They had a bank holiday sale where you could get 20% off, and I went for this lovely Art Gallery rayon. Is it Art Gallery? Yes, Art Gallery rayon. I've just washed it, so it is a bit creased. But look at those lovely colours. I'm planning to make a short sleeve version of the Closet Core NYX dress, or Atelier and the Buttons Indigo with a hat bodice to have 2 seams at the front where I will insert invisible zips for nursing access. And then I also got the Lady McElroy Veranda print, which is this one here. In a lovely viscose as well, viscose chalet lawn, I think. So this will also be a Closet Core NYX dress short sleeve version, and I really love this. So when I first saw it online, it didn't attract me at all, but then Nicola does do a lunchtime live every Friday at 1 PM where she shows off her new fabrics, and in the video I just fell in love with the fabric straight away. So this is really, really lovely, perfect for the summer. And I am currently loving the Closet Core's NYX dress because it is has an elasticated waist, it has buttons down the front, it's lovely and floaty, sort of summery boho dress, and perfect for postpartum. But yeah, that's that. So now to reveal my make for the month of May. It was the Tilly and the Buttons Mabel, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. Tilly and the Buttons patterns are always so very popular. It's this one here. So it's the Mabel dress. You've got 2 options. You've got the dress version and the blouse version. And I will show you the line drawings are as such. So this is the dress version. It's got elastic at the front, elastic at the sleeve heads, and elastic at the back. And then there is a drawstring at the front, but it's not functional. It's just like a little bow at the front. And then it's a center front seam on the front of the bodice. Shearing at the cuffs and shearing at the waist is, I suppose, the most prominent design feature for this pattern. And then you can also have the blouse version, which is a peplum. So you just add sort of a little peplum bit below the sheared waist as before, and everything else is the same. This goes from a size UK 6 or size 1 in Tilly sizes all the way up to a UK 34, which is a size 15. They come in two size brackets. So this one is the 6. Oh no. This one is a size 6 to 34. Is that right? UK 6 to 34. Oh, so they do. So it's all in one, because normally you would have two size brackets. You would have sort of UK size 6 to UK 18 maybe, and then UK 16 to UK 34 in two different size patterns, if that makes sense. But what Tilly has done for this particular pattern, it only, even though it's a dress, it only has two pattern sheets, two A0 pattern sheets. And what they've done is, instead of giving you pattern pieces for the skirt, they just give you measurements to add the skirt to the peplum of the so they give you this peplum pattern piece here, so it cuts off at the waist. They give you this pattern piece, and then at the bottom of this pattern piece it just says extend this in length by from 23 inches all the way up to 32 inches, depending on how long you want it. And they have done that in response to several customer requests asking them if they would omit skirt pattern pieces where it's just a rectangle, and instead give them measurements, so that you can just measure out the fabric yourself rather than cutting out paper, wasting paper, and using that as a pattern piece. So that's probably why all the sizes fit into one size bracket this time round. So what can I say? I didn't jump to make this pattern straight away, only because I was pregnant at the time, and I know that I would be breastfeeding. And as you can see from this, it's not really breastfeeding friendly. I mean, I guess you could pull it down. That's if the elastic on the side, on the shoulder heads, sleeve heads would stretch, but I don't think that would have been ideal. But looking at it further, I noticed there is a center front seam. So what I did with mine is I inserted an invisible zip there. And so you can just zip that down, untie the tie here, and the whole bodice opens up perfectly for breastfeeding access, which is great. So that's one of the hacks that I did to the pattern. I did the short sleeve version, but the dress. And then the other thing I did was added side seam pockets, which I'm surprised that Tilly didn't add pockets, because it's a very simple thing to do. And all of her dresses, I think all of her dresses, well, all of my favorite dresses of Tilly, the Lyra, the Indigo, they all have pockets. So I used the pockets and the instructions from the Indigo, from the Lyra pattern, and I just added them 2.5 inches down from the bottom, from the waist seam, and they fit perfectly. What else did I do? And then the length for my one, I did 30 inches from the bottom of the peplum skirt, pattern piece. And everything else was the same. The only other thing I did adjust after having made it was the elastic. So basically, these two bits here, it looks like the drawstring is pulling these in, causing that ruffle, but actually there's an elastic piece from here to here, an elastic piece from here to here. The same at the back. There is an elastic piece at the back, and then the sleeve heads also have elastic pieces as well. On your instructions, you have the length of the elastics to cut as per the different sizes, but I found that the front one here was quite gapey for me, so I actually had to take 2 centimeters off this elastic piece here of the front bodice, and 2 centimeters of the elastic there. That was easy enough to do after I made it, because I basically just went from the inside, undid the seam allowance, folded the elastic by 2 centimeters and sewed it down, and then re-sewed the seam allowance. If I was to do it again, I think the shoulder elastic as well could have been taken in by 1 centimeter on each side. That was just a bit too fiddly for me to do, so I just left it, and it's not too bad. But I really actually like it, especially now that I've turned it into a breastfeeding friendly dress. I didn't think these puffy sleeves would suit me because I think they kind of make your arms look a bit bigger. But I think they look quite nice. They look quite nice on me. The main problem I had with this dress is the shearing, and it's not for the lack of, well, the instructions, I looked through the instructions, I looked through several tutorials, and I know all the sorts of tips and tricks that are needed to create the perfect shearing, but I just couldn't get it to work properly on my machine. I've got a Pfaff Ambition 630, and the settings I ended up doing, for those of you that have this machine, I did a stitch length of 5, which is the longest stitch length, which is what they advise you to do. Although some places advise you to only go up by 0.5 or 1 above your normal stitch. So a normal stitch is 2.5. They advise you to do 3 or 3.5 or 4. So I've heard that in some tutorials. And then the majority of the other tutorials say go for your longest stitch length because you get more gather in between the stitches. So I ended up doing a stitch length of 5. My top tension of 6, which is the tightest tension. And then I also have a tension thread function on my machine that you have to enter in via the digital pad, and I put that on the highest as well, which was 9.8. I took off my walking foot and I went ahead and sheared. The only other thing that I did add as well was from the tutorials that I saw is as you're feeding the fabric through your machine, so your presser foot is down, if you put your finger behind the presser foot as the fabric is going through, so it basically bunches up behind the presser foot, that helped me a bit to get more gathering in my shearing, so I added that tip as well. The shearing was okay, so on the arms they were better, but on the waist it is still quite loose. I could probably take the waist in by 2 inches, so it's not giving me a defined, I mean, to be fair, I've just had a baby, so my waist isn't that defined anyway, but I will show you pictures later on or in a bit. And I could go in by about 2 inches in terms of the shearing, going in by a bit more. So I have had this problem before. The only other time I did do shearing was for the Stylark Belle dress, which is lovely as well, and it has a sheared panel at the back, and I had the same difficulties. So maybe I could try I probably won't try this dress again for a while, only because I don't have that much time to sew at the moment with a newborn baby. He wasn't sleeping very well, although now he does sleep for about 3 hours at a time, which is great. So that's why I'm quickly getting on and doing this now. And so I do have other projects in mind that I want to do. So the Mabel is probably going to get pushed aside for a while, but I do want to get the hang of shearing at some point, just to perfect that technique on my machine. Apart from that, everything else was okay. It was easy enough to follow. I just thought that the insertion of all the different elastics, as I say, the insertion of there's a one piece of elastic there, one for each sleeve head and one for the back, that was quite fiddly in the sense that you had to create a channel, and then you had to insert the elastic, sew it on one side, sew it on the other side, and do it for all the other individual pieces. It wasn't difficult, it was just a bit fiddly, and it wasn't something that I would sort of run to do again, if that makes sense. But everything else was fine, and I'm really, really happy with the end result. I will show you here. This is my what's it called, the Mabel. So this is my elasticated sleeve. I'm not elasticated, sheared sleeve. So that's quite nice. And also, as I'm what is this, stretching it out, I can hear I can hear the threads. I don't think they're not breaking, but they are, you can hear them kind of moving. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, but there you go. So that's my sheared sleeves, and then my sheared waist is there as well. It's just, as I say, it is quite loose at the waist. It could go in by another 2 inches. And these are the elasticated sleeve heads. The elastic here, you've got a tie here, elastic at the back, and then I've got pockets as well, which I will show you. It's just got the pockets there. And then, oh yes, the hack that I made was, let me take it out for you. So if you open the tie, and then I've added a navy invisible zip, and then that's got full access for breastfeeding, which is great, and it works really nicely, and you can't really see the zip because, well, I suppose it's invisible. And also the fabric is quite, it's not too busy, but it kind of camouflages that seam. So that's that. The fabric is a Lady McElroy viscose Moroccan crepe, I think. Oh, and it's in their lovely pebble print. They also have this in a burgundy, which I've seen before, not on Little Miss So-and-so, but I have seen it on the Lady McElroy website. And I'll pop up some pictures of myself wearing it. So I thought I would pose outside my front door this time round, only because all of my photos are taken on my upstairs landing with the wooden paneling that you've all seen if you follow me on Instagram or if you follow me on this channel. And I thought because the sun was out, I would do some photos outside. So that was that. And I'm actually very happy with it. The neckline is a bit lower than what I'm used to. I quite like a crew neck or like a V-neck, and the back I'm not used to having sort of such an open back, but it's all different things that, you know, it's nice to try things out, and I'm glad that I have made up this pattern. So overall, would I try it again? Yes, I would, just not anytime soon. The fabric was lovely to work with. Obviously, Little Miss So-and-so, they provided me with all the detail, with all the elastic, the thread. It doesn't need any interfacing. The fabric and the pattern as part of their So Luxurious kit, which I get free of charge as a brand ambassador. So thank you very much, Nicola and Little Miss So-and-so. And hopefully you will tune in next time. Please do, to see how I get on with the Vicky Sews blouse, and to see me opening July's surprise box as well. Surprise box as well. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will be doing more vlogs coming up. I didn't get to do my April makes, roundup of April makes, so that will be coming out soon. I don't have a roundup of May makes because I didn't do any sewing in the month of May, but hopefully new content will be coming out on my channel and on Instagram, and I hope you do start to follow me again. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.